And now, here's part 2. Okay. Again, like I said, this is another one of those plankton torture festivals at the end. You know, when plankton falls and Mr. Krabs cruelly frozen plankton. And when it was summertime, plankton was still trapped in an ice cube, and Mr. Krabs actually drinks his drink, resulting in plankton screaming. Yeah, I can't help but feel so sorry and so sympathetic to plankton. And of course, Squidward wanted to heat up, but Mr. Krabs howled at Squidward, and he doesn't want anyone to touch his thermostat, nor let kids play in his lawn. Wow, what Squidward said was absolutely correct. That's really selfish of Mr. Krabs. Just imagine one person freezing and want to warm themselves. How do you think they would feel if one person howled at them because of that? That's really unfair. Okay? Yes, I know this is a cartoon, but this is a really bad influence. And yes, being selfish is a bad thing. Let this be a lesson to you all. Yeah, it really hurts to be selfish. Just ignore that, guys. Those were my dogs. But it really hurts to be selfish. And yes, being selfish is a bad thing. And it hurts as well. So, my advice to you is to be considerate to other people and think about how they're feeling. And like, Mr. Krabs should have been at least considerate. He should have at least accepted that it was freezing and Squidward would have warmed up. But no, he's too selfish to do anything like that. He's even too selfish with the children. Like, when he howled at them, saying, "You kids get off my lawn!" Wow. That much of a self-centered, arrogant son of a bitch Mr. Krabs is. And yes, at first the customers were complaining because of SpongeBob and Squidward slipping, which I feel so sorry for Squidward. And yes, again, this might be another one of those Squidward torture festivals as well because of him slipping. Wow. What the hell were the directors thinking when making this? I mean, first the Plankton Torture Festival, and now the Squidward Torture Festival. It actually makes me want to feel sympathetic and sorry to both Squidward and Plankton. Because it actually makes me want to feel sorry about how they're going through. Yeah. But then Mr. Krabs, all of a sudden, makes money with Krabby Patties frozen and cold. And the customers actually loves it. This is really weird. Okay? Like, how could you eat something frozen or cold? Yeah, without cooking them. This is really weird. Yes, I know this is a cartoon, but come on. I don't know what the hell the directors were thinking when they thought this was funny when it's actually not, in my opinion. In my opinion, it sounds really weird and confusing, and I'm like, okay, that does not make any sense at all. Yeah, I get this awkward feeling about this as well. And Mr. Krabs, of course, makes money as well. Okay, this is starting to become very bizarre. And Plankton bitches about it as well. And Karen then comes into the picture and she brags the Planktons by saying, that's because unlike you, Mr. Krabs is a good businessman. You know what I say about that? Fucking bullshit. That is fucking bullshit right there. That part, what she said, is fucking bullshit. Like, do you remember in One Course Meal when Mr. Krabs tortured Plankton non-stop, especially with his daughter Pearl, and he torments him non-stop to the point where Plankton actually wants to commit suicide in a freaking kids show. How about in another episode in Spongiac or Insomniac, Mr. Krabs bitches at SpongeBob that he used too much mustard. And he bitched at him by saying he's not getting enough sleep. Mr. Krabs was a real bitchy person in that one. Like, really. He was so bitchy to SpongeBob. How about in SpongeBob You're Fired, he fired his own employee, SpongeBob, all because of a fucking nickel. I'm not kidding. He fired him all because of a fucking nickel. Oh, how about in Krabby Chronicle, Mr. Krabs forced SpongeBob to write stories about friends and actually make lies about them. And does he show consideration? Does he show warm-heartedness? That is a big N-O, which means no, he doesn't. He's really that much of a lousy, cold-hearted bastard in this one. Yeah, I remember that. That was a horrible SpongeBob episode as well. There are so many horrible things that Mr. Krabs had ever done that makes him anything but a good businessman. In fact, not only he's a self-centered, arrogant son of a bitch, he is also a lousy, cold-hearted bastard because of what I mentioned. Yeah. Oh, yeah, in one episode, Mr. Krabs bitched at SpongeBob and he blames SpongeBob because he thinks he stole the secret formula and gave it to Plankton, and he was about to call the cops. But the cops were here and Mr. Krabs like, arrest this motherfucker, officer! And Mr. Krabs actually was holding it, and turned out that it was Mr. Krabs all along. And he had a blameworthy excuse of why anyone did it. So it was nobody else but him, and Mr. Krabs got his own punishment. Yeah, I remember that. Like, wow. All of the horrible things that Mr. Krabs had done, that makes him such an unlikable character from seasons 5 through 9. I can't believe they done fucked up Mr. Krabs so badly like this. Like, wow. And I hated how it ended. It was a Plankton torture festival. When Plankton turns into ice and Mr. Krabs drinks it. Yeah, you get the point. it was a horrible ending. And it was a horrible episode as well. Krabs a la mode, which I think it's a horrible, horrible episode, in my opinion. And I don't find it funny at all. Not even the slightest. But if you like this episode, that's understandable. That's fine. Like it as much as you want. I'm fine with your opinion. To me, I just think they should have done a much better job instead of how it came out. How it came out was absolutely shitty to me. And it came out very shitty as well. Yeah. Above all, I think this is another one of those shitty SpongeBob episodes. Mr. Krabs being a huge asshole. A Plankton Torture Festival all over again. And the Squidward Torture Festival. Because of him slipping. And people eating cold Krabby Patties. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they do that? I understand it's a cartoon, but my god. Even this episode doesn't make any sense whatsoever, in my opinion. So yeah, everything I could say, they could have done a much better job, because the way it came out it's shitty. So for my final rating, I'm gonna give this episode a 1 out of 7. Horrendous SpongeBob episode. And there you go. That was my review / rant on Krabs a la mode. And thank you for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe to me, turn on notifications, and also don't forget to send me requests. I'm Jonathan's Media Shack here, signing off. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Stay safe and peace out, y'all.